Watch the video and listen before you comment. Also, spoilers up to chapter 191, which is the most recent chapter at the time of publication of this video. Okay, so Endeavor. Horikoshi's been getting death threats regarding the recent chapters showing Endeavor in a positive light. First off, you shouldn't send death threats to people ever. If you hate it that much, just stop reading and supporting the work. Peaceful protest, people. But that being said, I totally get why you wouldn't like the character. I don't personally hate Endeavor, nor do I particularly like him, but since this is another video on Endeavor, let me make my stance abundantly clear. Child abuse is wrong no matter what. Domestic violence is wrong no matter what. Actions like these can never be undone, and it is unjust for these actions to go unpunished. But maybe My Hero Academia isn't aiming for a theme of justice. Instead, it's talking about forgiveness. Now, does Endeavor deserve forgiveness for what he's done? Heck no. But do his wife and children deserve to be free from the burden of being angry at him? Heck yes. So why are fans so angry about this? Especially if you're a fan of Shoto, then you should also be excited about Endeavor's character development, and here's why. For every minute you remain angry, you give up 60 seconds of peace of mind. Ralph Waldo Emerson. And to be angry is to revenge the faults of others on ourselves. Alexander Pope. So wise people agree that when you're angry at someone, you might hurt them for a time, but if you stay angry, you're ultimately hurting yourself. It's counterintuitive. I know personally that it feels powerful to hold a grudge, and I'm sure you know how it can feel powerful too, but if you really think about it, it probably hurts you a lot to keep it. Like, I still haven't forgiven certain people for things, but at the end of the day, my anger doesn't really affect them. They're fine and I'm angry, so we may as well both be fine, if that makes any sense. I mean, obviously forgiveness is hard, but it is a choice, and Shoto is making that choice because he wants to be free from his past pain. So if he decides to honor Endeavor's honest efforts to become a better person, then others shouldn't tell him he's doing something wrong. Endeavor is not currently abusing him or Rei at the moment. That abuse happened, but it's in their past, and Shoto and Rei want to leave it behind. In order to make peace with their past, they want to forgive Endeavor. So, Shoto wants to forgive Endeavor, right? I just said that. We don't know exactly why, but we can reasonably assume it's because he realizes that his anger is holding him back. So let's look at some examples from the manga. He ignores Yorashi at the UA recommended students entrance exam because he's so angry about Endeavor that he can't even pay attention to anything else. He loses a friend when he really needed one, as well as a future rival and classmate in the process. Then let's look at the sports festival. Shoto is boiling with rage and loses first place to Bakugo by a landslide because of a stubbornness regarding not wanting to use his fire, which stemmed from pure spite towards Endeavor. But afterwards, he realizes for the first time that what Endeavor is or has done to him doesn't define him. He's able to separate his identity from his past, an important step in his development. We don't actually see him deal with his anger, though, until the provisional license exam, which he doesn't pass because of similar hang-ups that held him back at the sports festival. After he fails the provisional license exam, he realizes that he thought he could just have his own identity separate from Endeavor and leave it at that, but he realizes that not forgiving Endeavor and getting rid of the anger inside of him is still holding him back, so he sets out to change that. In the next arc he's in, sure enough, we see him in the provisional license makeup exam showing a child his fire to make her smile, which is the opposite of what Endeavor has always done with his fire. As I said in my other Endeavor video, this is a stark contrast to how Shoto felt during the sports festival. In both situations, he knew Endeavor was watching him, and in one he was consumed with torturous rage, while in the other he was able to share joy and love with a child who needed guidance. Why? Because he's not as angry as he was before. Letting go of his hate is for his own sake, not Endeavor's, and what's especially important is that this change took place before Endeavor even really started to change himself. Shoto didn't need Endeavor to apologize before he could move on. He's in the process of forgiving, and that allowed him to even leave Endeavor behind in terms of growth and maturity. Now, should Endeavor apologize? Of course he should, and he's trying to in his own way, though his way may not be the best way. But is that a necessity for Shoto to move on from his trauma? No. Then let's look at how he reacts to Endeavor's promise to become a hero that Shoto can be proud of. Of course, we have the legendary smack, but that's just to Endeavor's face. When Endeavor walks away determined to prove himself to Shoto, Shoto smiles, glad that his father is finally making strides to become a better person. He's glad that Endeavor is struggling towards personal growth, so why shouldn't we be? And get this, Endeavor makes his promise after learning from Shoto's maturity. We get a whole extra panel of Endeavor just watching how Shoto uses his fire to nurture before he makes this promise. Shoto is teaching his messed up dad how to love, and Endeavor is starting to become receptive to it. Why isn't this exciting to fans? Then let's look at Endeavor's recent battle with the special Nomu. He notes that he and the Nomu are similar, like another me from the past or an alternate future. He's fully recognizing that his blind pursuit of power was wrong, even evil, and symbolically defeats that part of himself when he defeats the Nomu. That's what allows him to emerge with All Might's pose. Why wouldn't Shoto want to cheer on his father's self-improvement? He yells, "I'm watching." He remembers Endeavor's promise that he would become a hero Shoto is proud of. Why should Shoto wish Endeavor to die just when he's been showing signs of improvement, and they're beginning the long, arduous process of repairing their damaged relationship? And what people have to realize is that this repair doesn't mean erasing the past. Even Rei says so herself. It means acknowledging it, forgiving it, and moving on. Everyone will be happier this way. Endeavor, and more importantly, Shoto. Now, I'm not saying that Endeavor can undo what he did, and Shoto doesn't expect him to do that either. But Shoto is trying to forgive his father for his own sake, and Endeavor sees that and wants to compensate in his own way, dealing with his own personal demons in order to become the hero he always should have been. 20 years too late, yes, but wouldn't we all agree better late than never? Obviously, Endeavor can't fix things completely, and the ghost of guilt will probably follow him his whole life. But as Fuyumi says, he still doesn't want to give up. So, Kawei Horikoshi is not saying that what Endeavor did is okay at all, but in a world like My Hero Academia where the justice system is terribly flawed, he's showing the healing power of forgiveness, the hope for victims of abuse not to be fettered in life or defined by what happened to them, and the hope that abusers will realize the error of their ways and change too. Of course, not every story like the Todoroki families has a happy ending in real life, but that's no reason to hate Horikoshi, and especially no reason to send him death threats. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and please be nice to each other in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!